So I played the open alpha test beta branch, the experimental branch, the branch that has the updates. And if you don't know what that is, it is it's a test. If you didn't see, if you don't have Against the Storm on Steam, you might find news elsewhere, like on the Discord server and whatnot. But essentially, you can opt in with a secret password that is literally just there on the news page if you follow the how to do, and yeah, it will appear. So. If whether or not you want to do it though, I don't know if it's on any other platform. I know you can do it on Steam, but I'm going through it instead of my main file just to see the differences. There are already a few differences here and there, but as I wait for this timestamp, we'll go over this really quickly before I talk more about the alpha branch. I'll say it again after the other timestamp. But secondary resources gathered from trees, which actually could cut into my wood production, oddly enough. But anywho, housing. Sacrificed resources. Sacrificed, right? Not just normally burned. Anywho. Twice the amounts of goods, which isn't so bad, but 10% per hostility level. But again, if you have control over your goods and whatnot in terms of like the production, that's not so bad. But it is still a ultimate negative. I don't doubt it's one of the stronger. If someone told me it was one of the stronger negative mysteries, then sure. And then services, or die. So we gotta basically try to get a lot of services. Also, I didn't go over the other ones, so just really quickly. The beacon towers is part of the seal maps, and overgrown trees, which are on other part of the seal match. And then being careful about cutting trees rather than woodcutters increasing hostility. But that's a whole other issue. Basically, we're still gonna be cutting right around the hearth and the warehouse. That's just my personal preference. But when we're trying to move forward, we'll usually cut 1 to 2 trees wide. Some people do 1 tree wide. I do 2 trees wide, but you can do either or. I advise 1, but hey. By the way, so do I actually skip the garden this time and just hope that I get another one? That's gone badly for me before, and we actually do have. That's right. We have. We already have our 3 racers out my thing. So again, I'll talk about the alpha branch when we get to finally proceeding with the game. But I'm also going to mute from time to time because I got to cough. I might just cough into the mic sometimes, but I'll try not to do that. And since we have roots available, we'll disable everything except roots. I think no, never mind. I'm looking at berries sitting right here. So really we should disable roots instead, but we'll switch that quickly and then do other stuff. Disable coal for coal. And we'll think about the lizards later. Beavers seem to be the better one for now. And yeah, we just want to make sure. Overgrown trees do count as 1 tree, as opposed to the smaller trees, apparently. So, I don't know why I didn't confirm that. But either way, we don't even have any of the 3 main plank fabric bricks. But I don't want to risk losing a garden, so I'm just going to pick... We don't have any humans, but you got to make do with what we've got. Now, if you don't cut into anywhere that has fertile soil, die, I guess, but we'll see. We do have an immediate service building, but then I also see planks, so this would help. Yeah, because I'm... So, part of the... the alpha branch... Oh, goodness, I'm dying. Not really, though, but... So part of the alpha branch is that you can immediately use service goods without a building, as opposed to in this current iteration of Against the Storm, where you need the building before you can use the goods. So what I mean by that, just really quickly for 15 seconds, say I had training gear right now, even though I don't have buildings like the Clan Hall or the Forum or the Explorer's Lodge, the lizards, for those who don't know about the alpha branch, would benefit from this. For those who already know, you already know, that's why I'm trying to speed through this, but you only get half of the possible max bonus, which is 8, I believe, so you get 4 without the building. But then you get another extra 4 if you have the building to use, so... Anywho, I think we're going to take planks here. Food would be interesting, but we need services more, so if you have something else for services like this... Yeah, that would be great, but... Do I risk this again, or do I actually take kill instead? We'll see. Either one of these is good. Maybe we grab another service building later. Maybe it's just one. Maybe I should have grabbed the temple, but guess I'm gonna find out when villagers start dying at 5 hostility. That sounds so bad to say because it is bad, but let's see here. Yeah, we don't need clothing. If he had a clothing mystery, I mean, I would be ignoring it anyway. So let's see what happens if I just brute force with the power of general goodies, which is kiln, kiln and carpenter. And I think we took a garden just in case we get fertile soil. Probably shouldn't have done that, but we'll see. Because it's not like we need anything now. At this point, we were just blindly picking still. So. Oh, my buddy. Okay, let's finally start planning things out. We're still in the pause menu, by the way, so... Bleh. We do have complex food immediately, but that's not... That's not the biggest hurrah, so... We'll still set up 4 of these, but I think... Yeah, we'll make 2 woodcutters camp. Regardless, we're gonna cut around the hearth, basically, is what the idea is. And then we'll put another one here to open up some space here, question mark. Again, this is, you're trying to cut as little trees as possible on on things, but really all that does is limit the amount of wood you're going to be getting and space, and make sure that you use sufficient space. Even though that's kind of not true, but you know, it's we're still going to deal with it. And then we'll just have the rest work. So let's actually unpause the game. So yeah, I've been playing on the alpha branch. And then there are a few UI things that have been changed too. For example, when your trade route finishes, you'll see an amber pop up here that fades away quickly. I noticed it once and I was like, what is that? Oh, and then I realized it was trade routes. Another thing is that, as I said on an earlier timestamp, again, we're just going to let them build for a moment here. Because we won't be getting enough wood anyway. I mean, we could do this. But yeah, the other thing is that if you have, say I had tea and training gear, the lizards and foxes would benefit from their respective goods, but only at half the max value until you get the building, in which you get the full 8 plus 8. Whereas without it, you would get plus 4 only. But you can, I think, does it still produce, can villagers still produce double yields in that case? That's something I need to look up on, but I didn't get that far. I'm level 6 only. I've only done 3. I pressed space as if that was supposed to mute my microphone, but I didn't. Anywho, I should actually make 3 woodcut. Nah. We need this, by the way. For actually, we need this. We won't be getting any other we won't. This is humans, I think. So, or harpies. Sorry, my mistake. But either way, we won't be benefiting from any proficiency efficiency bonuses. So, I really would have liked a thing. This would be interesting if I actually get my garden going. Otherwise, clay or no, this is clay right here. Never mind. I guess we'll pick clay right now. That way we can make use of it, and that's why we wait for the cornerstones. Something I've also seen people still kind of glance over or not think twice about is accepting orders later on. I'm sure there's an advantage for doing it earlier, but in my experience, usually picking your order during the storm somewhere, probably like in the later half of the storm, seems to be a better pick. And the reason for that is because, as I just move these shelters over yonder for a moment, is because once you unlock timed orders, I don't think I've unlocked timed orders on the save yet, but once you do, usually timed orders are given to you in such a state where sometimes you want to accept them right before the storm ends, but before you open any glades, basically, which can happen at times. It can happen at times. So you cut into a glade, then you get a timed order that tells you to cut into 3 glades or 3 plus glades, and then you're like, you get another order that tells you to get stormwater. Well, you can't normally get like 40 stormwater in, during the time you accept an order. I don't know if that's really a timed order. I know that can be a regular order, but you get the point. Timed orders are things that can be taken care of as you enter Drizzle Year 2, in my experience. Because you'd have set up a little bit of stuff before then, but you might still want to profit, especially if you have mysteries that help you during Drizzle. You might actually have something that helps you complete a timed order. So, for example, right now I'm not going to open these yet. I could, but normally orders on year 1 or your first 3 orders are not going to be anything too sensitive during clearance and Drizzle of year 1. Again, in my experience so far. And it's not like I've played for too long. I only have maximum 200 hours so far, so, and that's not including AFK time, so, again, well, half of that time is probably just me standing around thinking, but still, you get the point. Because, yeah, on my main save is not actually my first save. My first save, I repaired the first seal. So if I said I didn't, I actually did, because I went through my save. Again, I manually back up my saves to make sure. And hold on, let me just do some stuff here. Oh, we didn't even get all the clay yet, so... what we will do, if we have enough wood, is make 2 more shelters, because... we will be getting people anyway. Now, I should use this wood to make other stuff instead. I should have actually just prepped these paths, but I was busy speaking, so that's on me. And away we go. But yeah, I don't really want to say too much about the alpha test. In fact, I haven't even made videos yet because I didn't want to, just in case there was some rule or, you know, just... I feel like I would just be trying to get views. I was like, oh, hey, I'm playing the alpha. I'm not saying that anyone else can't do it, but also because part of the factor why I'm not doing that is because, yeah, it's not like I'm the most knowledgeable against the Storm player, so I wouldn't be able to point out anything immediately. That being said, I can point out some stuff. Oh goodness, I got cough again. For example, I think the third most prominent thing that I've noticed is your produced goods and sending things to the storage. The UI is different for it, so instead of seeing this, you would get a notification with a filling green bar, and then you can click on it, and then if you hover over it, it'll give you a tooltip to say you can either shift mouse button click or just mouse button click to force delivery or always force delivery, but that's a whole other thing. To me, it was a little hard to see at times because it's just a little green thing that happens in the box. I think it would be better if, or I feel like if it isn't too intrusive or too buggy, to actually either outline the box that you click on or make it so the icon appears on the outs, like it's a circle on the corner so that the circle is in and out of the box rather than just in the box. Right now, it's just it's like a little check mark or green circle inside the box. And so I was like, am I doing it? And then I had to look again. I mean, it's not, you can see it. It's just, thing, especially if it's something green, but that's a colorblind thing. I'm sure there are people on the team who are thinking of accessibility here and there. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. Like, it was hard for me to see, so I'm sure for at least a few other people, minimum, it's hard to see. But again, don't take me. That's just my opinion. That's not some objective fact from a point of knowledge from someone who has experience with accessibility options. I thought about it on developing my own games, but it's not as one person developing one game. I'm not saying you can't do it as one person. Also, we are getting sea marrow from these things because double odds, but goodness, my mic. Anywho, so yeah, this should be more than enough shelters. I should concentrate on actually making something now. For example, the carpenter, but we need planks for that and stuff. Otherwise, the kiln would be another great pick to immediately take care of fuel, but I'd rather get the planks. Get planks. Shrug. So I think that's just... Oh, it is fabric too. Never mind. We can't even make the carpenter yet. Guess we'll make the kiln instead. My mistake. So, I mean, I shouldn't disable it, but while we're sitting here... Again, we'll wait for this to finish, and then I'll put him in the... I'll put this beaver in the crude workstation. Put him in there. I don't know if it's a male. Sometimes, I mean, I imagine they're female beavers. So, anywho, we do still need to make this. And right in the middle of... not Drizzle. Right in the middle of clearance here, we need to do a thing. And then does this show up? No, it doesn't. But it still doubles the amount of resources you get from cutting trees. I just need to concentrate on not cutting as much trees in clearance and storm. But we'll see. Again, I feel I'll need all this space, but we'll see. Not really much else to say. I do, however, want to prep the thing. There are a lot of berry bushes here, by the way. Minimum 75 berries. I should actually turn off consumption for a moment. They'll last, so I don't think there are already people taking breaks, so rip some of my resources. But again, we use them. We need them. Anywho, kiln is I think 2x2, right? So we could just plop it here. But I'm gonna plop it here instead, just in case. and we'll wait. Again, somewhere in the middle of clearance, I'll try to set up at least one rain collector. You would usually actually need 2 because of how fast storm season goes. If you're under Prestige 2. Prestige 2, for those who don't know, the storm season is longer, which means you are likely able to get 40 storm water during one storm season Prestige 2. So funny enough, one of the small bonuses of Prestige 2 having longer storms. But otherwise, you would need again, from what I've seen, you need 2 rain collectors, some of the time at least, to get 40 plus stormwater, which is an order that you can get, but... Oh, my body. Oh, wait, hold on. I did not do this. Okay, now we can fix this. Anywho. I noticed that they were cutting trees. I did not set them to only cut marked trees, which would have been very, very bad to cut into a glade so early. Even if it was a small glade, yeah, again, we might have an order to do a thing... Okay, good. We canceled the job, but we'll deal with it. Do we have... How much do we have? 2? Yeah, so when he finishes this one... I keep assuming, but it's a beaver. Anywho, when this beaver finishes this, these 2 bricks, we'll think about doing other stuff. That being said... Yeah, we still want these everyone doing stuff, but we can slow down on the trees. So you know what? Let us make this rain collector really quick. We'll put it over here. I like putting my rain collectors closer or farther from the thing for those curious. And then here I realize I need 2 planks, so never mind. I lied to myself. We need planks anyways, yeah. So let's do that. We can build this kiln, but the most important part is we need this rain collector built ASAP. So I don't know if that's going to happen because it takes usually 50 seconds to make a set. But again, we're making this kiln here. We have some time to spare. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, let's actually fix our consumption because we are dying. So we're also getting meat from these trees, but I usually like to only turn on consumption for whatever nodes I can get. Actually, let's prioritize this one. We can start... Actually, we get more efficient bricks at the kiln, so we can turn this... Oh, we've already turned it off, but you get the point. Yeah, so when they finish that, we can turn that off. Let's actually just get started making coal now. We might as well. But more importantly, the moment these 2 planks finish... We'll do this forced delivery, and let's get this rain collector made. Right? Question mark? Nope, I lied. Well, this is going to be weird, but either way, we should still be relatively fine, I think. We're just sitting here? Yeah, okay, I was about to say. So, hopefully they get that. We're going to be a little off stormwater-wise, but we should still be okay. The hunger here might hurt us, but we'll see. Plague of mosquitoes, global production speed is slower. That's no goo. I don't think construction time is affected, but still. Pain. So yeah, we only need 1 in the kiln for now. We only need 1 in the kiln. Thankfully, it's only slower, and it's not like the production yield has been decreased, so I'll take it. You know what I also forgot to make? I forgot to make a trading post. We do need to make a beacon tower at some point, but that can wait. We don't even have anyone who can build this trading post because we have everyone working on stuff, but we'll wait. And again, we're only on Veteran, we're not on Prestige 1. If we were on Prestige 1, that would be interesting. That gets me more seals, but we'll deal. And now we'll accept this order. Beaver Resolve plus 20, but we don't really... Well, actually, don't we? Didn't we have... Oh, no, we only have skewers. Which will help at some point, but... I mean, all things considered... Yeah, we might end up selling things too, but I do like beavers. And then, copper ore, we can just turn this in immediately. This does mean that we're going to be pushing ourselves a little bit towards... the copper bar tree of production. We could also opt to sell a bunch more stuff, but we're not going to do that. Villages would be appreciated too, but me. And we'll pretty much wait until the end. And then, yeah, here's the stormwater. Or no, any units of rainwater, which include stormwater. But, no. So, I mean, I might not cut into too many glades. Actually, we might have to, because if I go the wrong way... this is a seal map, so we need to do a thing. So, you know what? Funny enough... Yeah, we'll take that one. And again, we'll wait till the end. We still want the stormwater, so I'm just going to leave the beavers here. Because we need to... Well, actually, I didn't take that one. But still, when I set things up, especially if I use the crude workstation, I could put pipes in. That's a personal decision, though. But still. And actually, taking anything... If any one of them offered cloth, that would have been great. But... Oops. And right around 30 seconds, we'll accept the order so that we can do stuff. I could opt to stop now for the sake of having more clay later on, but that assumes I'm going to be cutting into so many glades quickly. I could cut into this this small glade and see where the seal is. You know what? That's probably a better option. I still want to cut around this hearth, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. So we'll leave them busy there for a moment. Production speed is heavily decreased, so it's not like we're doing much else anyway, but hey. And yeah, you know what? We'll actually stop. So we can start building other stuff. If the production speed is slowed, yeah, we might as well. Oh, goodness, coughing. But anywho, let's speed through this storm season. I said I was supposed to accept this. I did not. No. Well, that's interesting. Protected trade is also interesting, but because we're limited in how many trees we want to cut, unless we start something... I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world if you start pushing your hostility with things, but yeah, now we did that to ourselves, so we're gonna do this. We primarily needed stormwater anyway, but let's do a twofer here. So, without further ado, let's cut into the small glade and see where this seal lies. Let's also accept this order and see what else we get. Keeping in mind what we have. So, copper bars, smelter. Gotta keep reminding myself that I can't use this training gear without the building. Where are we getting... Where is copper ore dropping anyway? Mines only, right? Yeah, mines only. So, let's see what happens. We get close to 20 resolve. Actually, can we push to 20 resolve? We would need a building that we like, right? Also, we don't have any fabric, so funny enough, I'm taking 2 foxes. But that will allow us to make the carpenter building once we get enough wood. Never mind. We can do that. If I wanted to be really weird, actually, we don't even have any wood at the moment, so we'll just forget about that. We'll leave this beaver here for the moment. We need to, so yeah. And yeah, we'll continue cutting around this. Yeah, I know I'm low on fuel. I've done my best. I'm sure there's something here that's just right in my face, but... Skewers, yeah, for 2 races, but I am going to take... I mean, there's also pie here for mainly just lizards, but... It's a lizard building, basically. Although, it's just a lizard building. Never mind. We'll take it, because I do want to make use of the copper bar thing, so we'll do that. And we'll see what else happens to our face. We'll have these... Yeah, we'll let them work on this path really quickly here. No, don't go up there. So this way, yeah, this way. If I triangulate, it's here, apparently. So we're going to cut into this dangerous glade, and then we're going to cut through maybe this small one here too, but basically we're going to cut into this dangerous glade when possible. That's the end of the sentence. We can get automated drizzle water going. Is there anything else here? Salt. For a mine, which if we put these beavers in a mine here, we should be able to push towards 20 resolve. What's the reason we want that? For extra parts mainly and the 2 beavers. Sure. Yeah, sure. Can we even make this mine right now? No, we need 4 bricks and 2 more planks. So, without further ado, let's knock this down. There's nothing else bad about doing this, right? You should just do this when possible, but anyway. Yeah, we need a lot more planks, but we need the carpenter building first. So, yeah, we'll do that when possible. Basically, we need to cut a lot of this wood. Yeah, we'll cut that still because that's space that we can use. If for nothing else, then to put the mine closer. But yeah, we'll let these woodcutters cut here. And then at some point, we need to cut the behind here. So you know what? For the moment, we'll stuff this. Oh, never mind. That's not fitting. I'm going crazy. Oh, I still can't cough as much as I want to. But anywho. We should be able to cruise through storm season, and that'll probably be the end of the video. I could go on for longer. I could make hour-long Against the Storm videos, but I don't feel like that's the best for me, so hey. I also think, hey, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to disable consumption for a moment. But while we're here, I don't think there's anything this trader could give me unless I'm willing to make a very, 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 very risky trade. Yeah, this would be nice, but no. I could opt to just grab planks now, that way I don't use up more, but this, how much wood does that really save me? Unless I just want to use the quote-unquote extra clay I got. Let's ask ourselves the question really quickly. Because that way I'm not using any more of these. Well, it's too late. So the thing we're losing here, so a small little, not efficiency, but strategy to think about is... Yeah, you are trading at a loss, but you're trying to save time by trading off extra resources. And to that extent, to continue playing this little devil's advocate, if you don't need the resources for whatever reason, or you're going to have extra of it, or you're going to be sitting on it for a while, then you can trade that for the time it takes to get whatever resources is. Even if I didn't have the carpenter, if I wanted to make some other building here, then I would use the merchant now, which I could do. Again, we're trading at a loss, but the one positive here is that we got extra clay to do these trades. Now, there are no bricks here, but I think you see the point. If you don't, then feel free to ask me questions in the comment section. But yeah, and maybe overall it's a negative, but I can't imagine that there aren't times you want to immediately make the trade. Like, even without any immediate orders that you would want to fulfill, if that makes any sense. Anywho. But at that point, you would be really anything else, though, anything further than that, and you would really be making predictions as to what to do. Shrug, that's the end of the sentence. Again, I could buy planks to speed up the construction of buildings everywhere, but we're not going to do that. And as always, we'll accept those orders later on, because we're not going to cut into any more glades for this season yet. There's not really a reason to do that. That being said, I should make this carpenter building now. I don't know why I'm not. I usually like to make little cross sections here, so let's move this trading post over here. And make this carpenter building like this. What I mean by that is I like making roads like this. You don't have to do it this way. In fact, sometimes there are moments where you probably don't want to do it like this, but I'm doing it like this for the moment. So this means we move the shelter somewhere for the moment. And yeah, that's about it. And then these are -1 priority. If you've noticed, or if anyone remembers it, I am kind of basically following a guide of sorts on what to do from a Steam guide, basically. Shrug. But I feel it's worked pretty well. Obviously, I've tried to do things myself. Oh, we don't actually want to do that. That's right. We want to actually start cutting this way. But we don't want to open this glade yet. Yeah, this isn't within the Hearth's range, but anything around the warehouse I feel is a good good investment, because you still want to make... I personally like using the space around the warehouse so that they don't have to walk as far. Even if you could put production buildings close to the Hearth, again, even the opposite can not... Well, I mean, the opposite can be said from behind the Hearth, too. Because if you put something behind the Hearth, you're farther from a warehouse, unless you put a warehouse close by, but I feel like that's a waste. So, again, to each their own. This is just how I like to do it. And now we're sitting on extra people. I could do a thing. I could also do this. Actually, we're sitting on 3 people. So actually, let's put a lizard there, and we'll put a beaver here. And let's start making planks, because we need to make these planks. I could put... No, yeah, I could put 2 here. I don't really mind this. I'm not really doing... I'm not worried about punk... steam water punk... Yeah, oh my goodness. I'm gonna actually encyclopedia this. Goodness gracious, my word. Rain punk! I'm not gonna rain punk anything yet. Oh, and then cough. I mean, I could put anyone else that's not doing anything on... in this rain collector. Same thing for this... fox here, but I can't... Nope, can't do anything. The kiln is what we use for bricks if I want to, but I'd rather do this for the moment. Yeah, so I'm just going to sit on this clay for a moment and wait until I try to wait until I get that, which is going to take a while, but otherwise, I mean, I could just throw the foxes over this. Yeah, you know what, actually? That's probably a better idea. There's no road here, but I think they'll be doing more over here. No frogs, so that's the best we're going to get. And they don't need to really walk across... Well, actually, they do. So we'll actually extend this road here. Yeah, I know there's a woodcutter's camp that needs wood. We'll deal. And yeah, we're gonna cut this way. Cut this way around the back of the warehouse here. And if we need to cut into this dangerous glade for whatever reason, sure. But probably not gonna do that. And away we go. Just making sure. Okay, yeah. Literally, these two trees are part of this glade. Oh, they are. Okay, anywho. We'll actually go this way. I think one of them... Does one of these only have one person in it? No, we have 3 full woodcutters cutting wood, where beavers would woodchuck. But anywho. Did I turn consumption off? I did. We can keep consumption off for a little while longer. Basically, mainly looking at the foxes, but really any more negatives. So 875, any more negatives, and we'll re-enable consumption early because I'm a bit worried. We can allow meat too, but for the moment we'll do roots instead. Yeah, we'll do roots instead. Normally roots is not asked for in glade events, whereas eggs and sometimes meat can be. But I mean, I'm sure there's things for roots, but meh. And we don't have enough planks, so we're still making planks. I could throw one of these. Yeah, we're gonna get the amount of wood we're gonna get. So we'll kind of slow down there. Are we getting... Yeah, we are getting extra wood. Period. Really lucky there. I normally get that like year 4 or something, so... I'm sure the game sometimes waits that, but if it has, then I haven't seen it as much. It's happened a few times, but they're few and far between. I definitely do remember getting it, though, when it happens early, and it's great. But anywho. Ooh, my body. I could cut more, but we'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to cut around the hearth and ignore, really, the tree hostility here. In preparation of doing other stuff. Otherwise, yeah, once all this wood gets cut, we're probably just gonna make mine. We can actually try and do it now. And kind of just sit on the rest. Yeah, we'll switch the kiln to coal, just so that we don't destroy all of our wood reserves. And we'll always need planks, and we do need coal as well. But let's focus bricks for a moment and kind of just set and forget. Actually, I can do this now. So, hopefully this gets timed relatively well. Otherwise, I mean, we can just kind of just sit here and do this regardless. And you know what? I will make a path like this. Why not? If nothing else, we can have the free builders that are now beavers work on making paths, if not this mine. But yeah, eventually we want to switch it back to making coal. Assuming we can continue to cut wood, which we're not doing. So yeah, as I said, we're just going to open more space. We'll probably need it at some point. But let's just cut it this way so that we can at least put stuff around the hearthing, hearth. And yeah, it would have been nice to get the resolve here, but we're probably not going to get that, so... 1 hostility, we should be okay, minus anything else that happens. We have full housing. We're going to need more, actually, I think. So you know what? We have 59. So let's focus these here. The bricks are probably not done yet, so we'll just sit here for a moment, and then when they make these next bricks, we'll wait. We will switch this back to coal in due time. Or maybe not. We'll see. I mean, we could still cut a bunch of stuff around here. So all things considered, yeah. You know what? We'll do that. We'll just kind of clear the hearth area. Yeah. But we also want to be conscious of opening this glade soon. Again, these are just part of it. I'm holding control and clicking as we enter this. Longer rest, more food consumption, which I think I've done a thing. And yeah, gotta remember to do a thing as well. Yeah, we'll get stormwater here. You know what I actually should have done? I should have put pipes either in the carpenter or the kiln. Now I feel bad, but if anything, probably here. You know what? No, here. Yeah, we'll put it here. And then we could have pushed 20 beavers resolve, but them's the breaks. And yeah, now we don't need this mine at the moment, although yeah, we're probably just gonna do this instead. So hey, and speed through the storm. Kind of. I could enable skewers here, but we have a very we're not on Prestige 2+, so we can afford to kind of just sit here for the moment and do some stuff. Why is it? Oh, rationing. Yeah, we're rationing the skewers, so they don't like that, but it's perfectly fine. Usually, on my videos, my timestamps for storms usually seem to be quite short. There are some of them that have been long, but not normally. And then right at the end here, we'll do this. And away we go. I should have accepted these orders, so we'll accept these orders really quickly. And that will probably be the end. Oh my sweet goodness. All packs of goods. Are we going to get 3 ancient tablets, I guess is the question. That means I'm going to be cutting through. Or do I play it safe? I mean, 2 wildfire essence is good, but yeah, we're going to do that. Keep in mind that so far we don't really have any place to do a thing. Do we have anywhere that can make skewers, actually? I don't think so yet, right? No. We can't do that, so we're basically going in blind either way. Extra villager hostility lowering is also nice, but this would be nice for a fabric. So villagers, I guess that's something I can think about later on. So yeah, without further ado, for the timestamp, I think we'll end it here. So yeah, we're sitting on all good for opening new glades and doing things in those glades. I probably do want to. No, actually, we're on Viceroy difficult. We're not on Prestige 1, so we don't need as many reputation points. But other things, this order here, I took one of these. I took that order, and we can go for 2 empathy, which we could get maybe. Then I should have picked the tablet one instead, but you can only pick one at a time. Otherwise, maybe we get skewers, and then maybe we make lizard houses. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what I pick. So yeah, without further ado, this should be the end screen, and you know, I will be continuing to play the alpha. I know I didn't talk about it as much. I talked about a few things pretty much at the beginning of the video, but I think I'll continue playing it instead of my main file. So if you see anything else on this channel for Against the Storm, it'll probably be that alpha footage, if I'm allowed to. I gotta look into that. If someone comments and says you're not allowed to do that, or directly from the developers themselves, I have to, you know, respect what they want. But otherwise, I guess I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. If you want to support me, you know what to do, and I'll see you later. Bye.